Welcome to the League of Melanated Gentlemen podcast. I'm Spenser, and I am one of your hosts on this wonderful podcast that we do. And today I'm joined by the other members of the League because it is time for, once again, another review.
We outside, baby. This is Brandon.
That's a good reference. And this is Jordan.
And so I'm sure that you know by the title why we're here, but before we talk about that, Jordan has something he wants to share with you.
Yeah, so we are on the social media. We are on Facebook. We're on Twitter. We're on YouTube. You can find us all at the League of Melanated Gentlemen podcast. Be sure and, hit us up on there. Join our Facebook group. Let's talk about it. You can also rate and review us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and whatever other streaming service that you use. And also, we have, episodes dropping this week. So, we come out on Mondays. Just the regular podcast comes out on Mondays. But, down on in the week, in the middle of the week, we got Brandon's podcast. We got Wrestling with Worldwide Willis. Brandon, can you give us a little insight of what we're going to talk about this week?
Yes, sir. We just had SummerSlam this past Saturday. And yeah, we'll be reviewing that. And then we'll add Laveris as my guest. And we'll also break down our top 5 SummerSlam matches of all time.
Okay. And then I believe on this Friday, we have DC Animation with Spenser and Friends. Not this week. Oh, we just dropped. See, I'm getting my weeks confused. Time flies when you have kids, and you just never know what happens. But
what just dropped though?
Yeah, an episode just dropped.
So the episode that just came out was episode 12, which was Batman Year One.
Nice.
Yeah. So by the time you listen to this, like we said, that one's already dropped. You can go listen to it. And Spenser, do you want to reveal what the next movie is?
Yes, on the 18th. So next Friday, we will be discussing Justice League Doom.
That's a good one. I can tell you that one. That is a good one. So, be sure and go watch that movie. And then when the episode drops, you can go and watch the review or listen to it. Whichever one you want to do. I guess listen to his podcast. But yeah, that is everything we have for the week.
Okay. So, because we have a review here, it is important that we let you know that there will be spoilers. So, Jordan, if you could please run the spoiler warning for the people. Listen to these words, for they may determine your next course of action. This is your official name brand League of Melanated Gentlemen spoiler warning. We are issuing this spoiler warning not only for the piece of media or content that is in the title of this episode, but also for the world or the universe in which that piece of media or content exists. If you are not caught up, I would highly recommend you pause my voice, you catch yourself up, and then you join us once again. If you are all the way caught up and or if spoilers do not offend you, please enjoy. And now with that out of the way, we can discuss the movie. I am going to read a synopsis in my own words, as is usually the case with reviews here. And then we're going to talk about it. We're just going to, get into it, see how we feel about it. So, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mutant Mayhem. We open to a tactical unit being sent out to get Dr. Baxter Stockman because he has gone rogue and is creating mutant animals. The unit is attacked by his mutant fly, but unfortunately, there's an explosion and the scientist is killed. Some of the mutant ooze that he created falls into the sewer. 15 years later, we find the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles going on a supply run. Their father, a mutated rat named Splinter, has taught them to never be seen by humans because humans are terrible. But the boys want to be normal, and they just long for human interaction. So they make a detour on their supply run, and Splinter retells the story that led to the way they are, or the way that things are. Splinter was a rat, and everyone hated him. But of course, humans hated him the most. He finds himself in the sewer where he finds the turtles and the ooze transforming all of them into humanoids. Raising them, he can see that they want the surface life, so he takes them up there and pretty immediately gets mistreated and attacked by the humans. With that, he learns ninjutsu and teaches it to the boys so that they can protect themselves and so they can steal stuff for the house. So the turtles get put on punishment for going to see a movie. And once the punishment is over, they are on another grocery trip and they accidentally catch the attention of a teenager named April. Leonardo thinks she's cute and her scooter gets stolen, so obviously they got to get it back to impress her. It ends up being some real criminals that have it, and so the turtles get into their first fight. They are successful, and when April shows up to retrieve her scooter, she meets the turtles and they explain their origin story. As an up-and-coming journalist, she figures that she can use the turtles' help to uncover a string of thefts that have been happening by a mysterious superfly. April is trying to no longer be known for her vomiting mishap, and the turtles figure the good press will make people like them and accept them. So they are able to find one of the stolen items, which brings them face to face with Superfly, who is actually a mutant fly with a whole squad of mutants with him. The turtles immediately bond because they had no idea that there were other mutants involved in the world, and Superfly explains that Stockman is how they all got here. Superfly has a similar story to Splinter in that he went into the human world and was immediately hated. So he decided to build a machine that will turn all animals into mutants and basically kill and or enslave all of the humans. The turtles try to stop the plan, but Superfly and his group are able to get away, and TCRI captures the turtles. TCRI is a corporation that is wanting to build a mutant army, so they strap the turtles to a machine and begin extracting their blood through a process known as milking. April goes to Splinter so that they can save the turtles. Once saved, they go to Superfly's hideout to stop him. Splinter sees through Superfly that his methods of protecting the turtles with isolation and I am right may not have been the best move. They are able to convince the other mutants that the machine makes them no better than the worst parts of humanity, and so they all weren't super down with the plan anyway. So they betray Superfly and destroy the machine. When the machine falls into the water, the ooze fuses Superfly with a menagerie of animals, and he becomes a whale kaiju and starts attacking New York. The other mutants try to stop him, but the news is reporting that the turtles are the mastermind behind the kaiju attack. April gets on the news and sets the record straight that the turtles are the good guys, and the good, helpful citizens of New York start helping the turtles. Leonardo earns his leadership badge and talks the boys through using their strengths to win the day. Using a cylinder of anti-mutant ooze, a positive attitude, and the power of friendship, the turtles are able to defeat Superfly and return all of the animals that were fused into him back to normal. The good people of New York love the mutants, so, they all move into the sewers together, the mutants and Splinter. Splinter finds a girlfriend, and the turtles finally get to go to high school. In the mid-credits scene, the turtles are being surveilled by TCRI because they want to capture them and, continue with their mission. And so they hire none other than Shredder. Credits.
Very nice. Very nice. Round of applause. Round of applause.
Yeah. Round
Yeah,
of
get you some background
applause.
music.
Yeah.
I guess we can work on that. I'll work on that. So I'll go first.
Okay.
I thought it was fun. I had a good time. Scale of 1 to 10, I'm thinking 7. I enjoyed it. It wasn't like the greatest thing in the world. There were a lot of things that were brought to mind when I was watching it, and we can talk about that whenever we get into the details. But yeah, I had a good time. I don't have a very strong point of reference for the turtles. I just kind of know like who wears what color and what like some basic personality things are. So like
Mm-hmm.
I know that uh Leo's the blue one, he's the leader. I know that Donatello's the smart one, the one that invents stuff. And Brandon explained all of that to us in an earlier episode.
Thanks.
So yeah, like I know that Raph is angry. Like these are like I know who Splinter is, I know who Shredder is, I know who April is, but like I don't know just a bunch of turtle stuff. So I am not coming at this with a strong base or a strong like nostalgia or knowledge about this or anything that would make me say, hey, that's not right, or hey, I didn't like that they did that because dot dot dot. Like
Right.
I don't have any of that. So I was looking at this very much just on its own. The only thing
Mm-hmm.
I can really compare it to is the quote unquote live action Turtles that we got in 2017, something like that, whenever that was.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, something like that. I didn't watch it.
yeah, and I've enjoyed most of the turtle things that I've seen because I have seen the movies like from the 90s, but that was as a youth
Right.
and I haven't committed them to memory. So I don't have much comparison to do. I don't have much nostalgia to pull on, and I don't have any like source material that I am really just reaching for. And so looking at this just for what it gave me, I enjoyed it.
George, you want to go
Nice.
next?
Yeah, I can. Much like Spencer said, like I don't have the strongest. Well, let me rate it first. I'll probably give it a 7.5. And I think after we talk about it, it could go up, but right now, like as coming out the theater, I give it a 7.5. But like Spencer said, I don't have the deepest knowledge of turtles. Like I know all the baseline stuff as well. I was never into Ninja Turtles, honestly. Um, but the movie itself was pretty fun. I actually was laughing. It had some really good moments. I did get a little annoyed sometimes with the turtles just because like their teenage lingo. But I mean that's
Old
just what
ass
it,
nigga, man.
I know I'm turning to an old man, I swear. But I loved the bad guy. Ice Cube had me dying laughing with all the stuff he was saying, but we can get into it a little later. But overall, man, I enjoyed the movie. I think it was a good run. Brandon, what you
All
thinking?
right. Glad I'm last then. I thought it was perfection. I give it a 10 out of 10.
Whoa.
I think it's the best animation movie of the year.
Whoa.
I think, yeah, the comedy was, A1. Thought obviously the animation was amazing. I thought they gave a refreshing take on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, actual teenagers. Like usually it's like these niggas ain't teenagers. You know what I'm saying? Like usually these is like grown ass men. They just have a master or a sensei type in Splinter, and they go about their day, but they're kind of considered teenagers. Where this was like legit teenagers. Like this is that freshman sophomore year type teenagers, which was perfect. Y'all know me. I'm love a coming of age story, and I thought they did that perfectly. And they hit you with comedy that actually hit. Like there wasn't many jokes for me that didn't land.
Yeah.
I thought the riffing and the playing off of each other was amazing. I thought Ice Cube again was a great character. I'm glad they didn't go straight to Splinter. They kind of built up to him and like let Superfly, and it all kind of made sense why he was the main bad guy for the first one. And I love that it was grounded. It wasn't some multiversal bullshit. It was like, okay, keep it grounded. These kids just want to be accepted by humans, right? Like that's a very simple logic. We get it. They don't even want to be superheroes. They just think to be superhero. If they are superheroes, they will then be accepted by humans. And like Leonardo's my favorite. Like him and Donatello stole the show for me. But yeah, it was just I really like the change to April. It wasn't necessary, but it was cool. Like and it wasn't like overhanded. Like why she was changed because you know what I mean. It was just a change, and then they moved on. You know what I'm saying? And Yeah, man. I just think it's top tier, bro. Like it's a 10 out of 10 for me.
You know what's crazy? I was in the comic book store Saturday before I even saw the movie, and I was walking around. I heard some guy talking. I guess he had just seen the movie. He was like, "Man, I can't believe it, dude." He's like, he was talking to a guy that does. He's like, they made April black. He's like, "That's not a problem. That's not a problem with me. I'm just saying they made the change." I was like, "It's a problem for him."
Yeah, yeah. If you
I was
bring
like,
it up,
"Cause
it's a problem.
you wouldn't even have to bring that up if it wasn't a problem."
Right. No, I
But
definitely
thought that was funny.
I thought that was a good. I thought it was a cool change, and it fit them better. Like it used to be, she was a grown ass journalist, and these guys meet her, and you know what I mean. It was a cool dynamic, but this made more sense. Like they're more peers, whereas before it was
Yeah.
like, you know what I mean. And I love the change to Splinter, where he's like an actual dad. Yeah, he does ninja stuff, and he's a master and all these things, but they didn't really dive into that too much. They
I was
dove
wondering
into
when they're
just
going to do that.
yeah, just they dove into him just being a dad. Jackie Chan was amazing, but like, yeah, him just being a dad, like him just wanting to protect his kids because he had a bad experience, some trauma. So he's like, nah,
Right.
I don't want y'all to experience that. And throw him a birthday party. Every parent knows you go out of your way, you think your kid's gonna love something, and then they go, nah, I'm good. You're just like
Yeah.
let down, So
I felt so bad for Splinter through a lot of
man,
this movie.
bro, it's so many times. Yeah, the party. It's just so many different times. He warned them about the milking, and they was
Hey,
just
that
didn't
was
listen.
hilarious. They was
That
like, "We
was
only got
listen.
nipples."
We got nipples. Like, what are you talking about? And then they didn't want to tell him because it was like they thought he was some conspiracy theorist, and they're like, how
Hey,
could it actually do
that
that?
was funny though. The name of the machine was like the Milker Milker
Yeah,
2000 or something like that. That was hilarious. That was
bro.
hilarious.
But yeah, man, I love this one. Like honestly, I want to see it again. And to me, yeah, it's the best. Like obviously, and I hate to compare, but I mean, that's what we're gonna do. Like Across the Spider-Verse, amazing. We know that it was very ambitious. It had a lot of shit it had to do, but to me, this one kept it simple in a way that benefited the movie rather than going all over the place. And honestly, Miles wasn't even he was a teenager, but I mean, I don't know. But yeah, I really enjoyed this one.
Yeah. I do you talked about them riffing off each other. Like I did enjoy them like going off each other. I did get like a little annoyed at the lingo, but also at the same time lingo is funny. He's talking
Yeah,
about like they'll talk about wearing Tim's and putting on a big
yeah,
puffer jacket. Like
yeah.
some of that stuff was pretty funny. Some of
Looking
they
at
got Riz.
looking
Yeah.
at cheese. Yeah, you're yeah. That was hilarious, bro.
That was hilarious. That you're
Yeah, they did that for like 4 minutes straight. Just we outside. You're
Yeah, I agree. That was pretty funny.
yeah.
So what did y'all think? What were y'all's opinions? Well, I guess Brandon, you've already talked about it. So what do we think about them making April black? Do we have opinions on it, or is it like a yes, I like they did it, no, I don't like they did it, or didn't really matter?
For me, I mean, it didn't really matter. And it's funny because like
Yeah.
now you guys have it instilled in me,
Instilled.
either instilled in me that any change, I'm like a hypocrite because like I didn't mind the change because it was X-Men related. So like I did not mind the change at all.
Anything X-Men related, non-X-Men related, you don't give a shit about. But
Right. No,
yeah,
I didn't mind that she was black, but I did enjoy that she was like the same age as them, and she kind of can relate to them as well. Like I thought that was pretty good.
She was
What about you,
actually
Spencer?
a teenager.
exactly.
Yeah, I didn't have feelings about it. I was pretty indifferent. It was weird that, she like Megan Fox played that character, and then
I did not know that.
Yeah, she did in the 2000 whatever Michael Bay one.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about like she
no,
voiced.
Hell no.
no.
That's what I was about to say. That was weird.
No. I mean, Megan Fox played the character of April in a different movie.
Yeah.
Oh, I never seen the other live action. Only other Ninja Turtles movie I ever seen was the one from the 90s. I've never seen any other one.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but for me, yeah, like as far as my point of reference, going from Megan Fox to this was very different.
Yeah.
Which is not a problem. Like, I think that this made more sense, and yeah, like I like the direction they went here. And
Yeah.
I know I've mentioned this in other things, but I really like the incorporation of different body types,
Right.
because that's what people look like.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she looked like a more accurate representation of people in this world than Megan Fox does.
Right. Yeah.
So I support that. But yeah, I was just like, okay.
Yeah.
I was unaffected by it, I guess. But obviously there are people who had feelings about it.
Yeah.
Brandon, what is your history or relationship with the Turtles?
So I mean, I'm pretty tapped in. Like I watched the 80s cartoon. I was born in 1990, so the kind of carry over. I watched the 80s cartoon. I was in love, with it. And then the movies came out and it just took it to a different level. Like those are some of my favorite 90s movies, the live action ones. And I really loved April in those. She was really great. But it was less of like this attraction thing and more of like they just, gravitate toward each other. But yeah, like I've always been a big fan of them. I've always loved that they've and I've kind of wished Power Rangers would do the same, but like, branch out, have an animated show, have a show that's a little more for older people, have a comic book that's for older people. In Last Ronin, have, a little bit of darker stuff there, have a little bit of more kid friendly stuff, in another place. Do a live action movie. Okay, didn't do a live animated show again. Like they're keeping themselves relevant with new generations. You know what I'm saying? And I've always loved that and always respected Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles for that, for like always staying on the map, like never getting complacent,
Bro,
never
there's a new Nickelodeon cartoon like every year.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like they're trying to satisfy the old generation, but also gain new fans. And like I've always respected that. And it's always a moneymaker, right? Like it's one of those things that like it sticks with people. If you're a true fan, it's one of those that like because it comes out all the time and refreshes and has new little like even there's one in the one Nickelodeon animated show where like they change the characters kind of completely. Like they make it where Ralph's the smart one. They make it where like Donatello's different. You know what I'm saying? Like and so they've done different things. And then obviously now The Last Ronin is like one of the more popular comic books out there. You know what I'm saying?
I'm so sad I didn't get. It's crazy. The comic book shop put that comic in my box. I didn't even know what it was, but they was like, "Hey, this book is really hot right now, and I don't know if you want it or not, but I think it's a big good one." I was like, never mind. I'm so mad I passed out on that book because that book is hot.
Yeah, it's just an amazing story of like, in the future there being one turtle left, the rest died, but you don't know which turtle is the one that's still living because he doesn't wear like a normal. He wears the color, the do-rag, whatever you want to call it, of all the other turtles. Yeah, I mean that's what we call it. But
so Raph had a do-rag on, but the other three had masks.
Yeah, no, Ralph had a straight up do-rag, but he wears the mask of all the of themselves and then all the other fallen turtles. So you never know till the end of the story who is the who is the living turtle. So it's like a real cool, mysterious story. And yeah, that's why people love it. It's long lasting. It's one of the, more popular comics we have out. And so, but that satisfies the older crowd. That's what I've always loved about the Ninja Turtles. And so, yeah, I've always been in love with it. That's why I was so excited for this movie, is because just to see, like, we've never seen this version where they're actually teenagers, you know what I'm saying? And like lean into being teenagers. So that was kind of why this is one of the movies that I was like super excited about. And the cast was really, really dope too.
Yeah, so, I realized one of the cast members, I recognize his voice in a lot of other stuff. Yeah, like he's in Gumball, and also I'm watching Skull Island, and he's one of the voices in Skull Island too.
Okay, nice.
I guess I kind of just assumed that in the other Ninja Turtles things that I've seen, they were older teenagers, so like closer to 16, 17, but in this one they were like 13.
Yeah.
But also I don't have a point of reference, but I did notice that they felt more like teenagers in this than I've seen them before.
Yeah, it felt like others were like 17, 18, 19, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Becoming adults, where this is like, nah, like their goals are not to drive, but their goals are like to join a high school club, to even go to high school, to meet a girl, to, you know, very teenage level stuff. And they was on their phones. Like, it was just normal, like teenage
I
stuff.
That too. Like,
like, right. And it was just really cool that like they didn't make it all about. I love that they added the karate stuff, but you also got to see them like develop karate. You know what I mean? Their first mission, they was like, oh, I don't even know if this shit gonna work. You know what I mean? Like,
we've never seen them fight before. They were like, guys, we have to do this.
Yeah, like they hit a roundhouse and they was like, ooh, that felt good. You know what I mean? That was interesting. You know,
I think we can do this.
Exactly.
Dude, like, Ralph, bro, he was going wild. He had me laughing. That dude was an unhinged cannon.
Bro, that dude was wild. He was like, let's go. Like, I'm ready for I've been waiting my whole life for this.
Yeah, but he was ready. He was living by the wish creed.
Yeah, Ralph he been ready to be outside. Yeah. Thanks. Which is consistent. That's definitely a consistent thread. Like, he's always the one ready for action.
Who are you guys' favorite turtle? Because I think I revealed mine on a previous episode. I think I had. Okay. Who's you guys' favorite turtle?
In this?
No, just in general.
Or both.
Okay. Oh, yeah. I think Michelangelo in both.
Okay.
I don't have a hard answer for like otherwise, but in this, I really like Michelangelo.
Yeah. Mine is Leonardo's always been my favorite. He's a leader, kind of, and I like that they humanize him in this. Usually he's just like the lame ass leader who, you know, comes up whatever Splinter says, he just regurgitates it.
He's the soldier boy.
Exactly. Like, he's the Captain America. He's the, you know, but like in this might be Donatello. Like, I really loved the different take on Donatello. Like, he loved anime, all that other shit. You know what I'm saying?
Oh man, I want to get into that later too.
Yeah,
that's so many references in this movie.
It really was
crazy.
There are references to everything in this.
Everything. Yeah.
I didn't even take them all down.
I was always a big Raphael fan. Like,
that makes sense.
Yeah, I love, even if his weapon of choice, like his size, like his arrogance and his, you know, I loved all that. So like, I've always been a Ralph fan. Dude, they did something in this movie I never even thought about. So the scene where they're in the school and they talk about not having last names.
Yeah.
And then he's like, my name is Mikey. And he's like, my last name Angelo. Like, I didn't even think about like that could, even though we know those are first names,
right?
They can flip it to where it looks like a first and last name.
Yeah.
Leo, I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty good. That
was really cool. Opinion. I like that.
I was going to say, it's going to be a little more challenging for the other two to do that.
Yeah, sure.
So was it Donna, and then I guess first name Don
Otello, I guess.
He could do like Donnie, because he goes by Donnie. Donnie Tello. That's still wild, but
yeah. Raphael,
that one's right there.
Yeah, that's tough. But yeah, that was a cool part too. And I mean, yeah, Ralph is like I feel like the fan favorite. That's what people like. When the last Ronin came out, everybody's like, oh, that's Ralph. That's Ralph. That's off. Like, the last one who lived, that got to be Ralph, because like he's just known as the toughest, the biggest.
Now I'm really wanting to read that. I didn't. I kick myself for not getting that. I really want to read that now.
Yeah, and
Brandon, you're starting to sound like Jordan. Could you keep calling him Ralph? There's no L in Raph.
Raph? I thought it was Ralph. I thought his nickname's Ralph.
No, it's Raph. It's Raphael, so it's Raph.
Oh, Raph. Okay, maybe I didn't hear him pronounce it well.
Ralph, it's all the same. Tell him.
Yeah, Raph. But yeah, he's like the big tougher, and I liked how they like, even in the baby forms, like it was clear he was the biggest.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It was clear
he was significantly bigger than.
Yeah, he was the big muscle. He developed a little earlier, so that was really cool. And I like they like usually in Ninja Turtles they don't really take off they like flat like they mask or whatever like that. It don't matter what iteration you see them in, they just keep their mask on.
Yeah, like I don't think I had seen them without them, and I think that's for us so that we know who's who.
Exactly. Yeah, like they kind of was like, back in the day, they're not gonna know who was who. So let's just keep it on where it's like, why would you go to school with those on? You know what I mean?
I was wondering I was wondering like when they went to school, like were they going to take that off? I was wondering.
Yeah, it made sense. It's sort of like a superhero mask, so it makes sense why they would take it off. It's funny to see them like just bald headed, like
walking through with nothing on their faces was weird.
Yeah,
I like how they made a joke about that too. He's like, he don't even have hair. He's like, I wish I had hair.
Yeah.
Let me ask y'all, what did y'all think about the art style? Because for me, like some scenes threw me out of it because it almost looked like clay. But then other scenes was like, okay, this looks really good. And I feel like it was like it almost reminded me of maybe like watching the Spider-Verse for the first time and kind of seeing like a whole new animation style. And this movie was like for me, it was like a whole new animation style. And it took some time for me to get used to.
I will say I mostly enjoyed it. There were like moments that were a little jarring. But generally I thought it was a good move and I enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty well done.
Yeah. I loved it. The only time I probably had an issue with it was like when they had what was the one monster that Splinter was in love with?
Yeah, I don't remember the name of that one, but that little ugly one.
Yeah, the ugly one.
Like, I kept calling it Beetlejuice. I know that wasn't its name.
Yeah.
But I kept calling it Beetlejuice.
And maybe it was just the character in general. It was just hard to take all in.
The one that kept spitting?
Yeah, it was just the visual. He was ugly as shit. It didn't make any, you know what I mean?
I didn't even know what it was.
I mean, like I don't know, cockroach. I don't know what the hell that thing was.
Yeah, I think it was a cockroach. But I'm not 100% sure. But I want to say it was because I remember a cockroach was named in the like list of things that they were like. There's a rhino and a warthog and a gecko and so I remember a cockroach coming up. So I assume that was the cockroach.
But yeah, overall, I loved the art style. Like I loved it. I feel like it was obviously paying homage to what Sony did with Into the Spider-Verse and things of that nature, but it also was like different enough. Like I forgot what the art style name is, but it's sort of like nothing is like symmetrical. Everything is like when they were drawing the street lights, none of the circles were like actual circles. You know what I mean?
Oh, there were people whose like eyes weren't lining up.
Yeah, facts. Like it's very rough art style, and I mean it fit because you're in New York, so you want things to look grungy and things of that nature, and so I really liked it.
Yeah, it was. Some of those people were just ugly,
bro. Like some of the people's heads was like
some of the henchmen, and then some of the like random citizens.
That scientist too at the beginning, like he was ugly.
Bro. He looked like he was going through it.
Yeah,
Baxter. Yeah,
a little rough.
Yeah, he smoked the line before he did.
Hey man, the scene where Superfly, it was like I was mollywopping people.
Bro,
I was cracking up when he said I was mollywopping people.
There were so many moments. I know they had to take it. They had to do another take because Ice Cube absolutely cussed. Fact. I mean, this was written by Seth Rogen, so of course, no surprise there. But there were a lot of moments where I was like, "Yeah, he had to do that. He had to run that one back."
Like, what the hell?
Yeah. Bro, when I think it was Donnie was like, "I don't want to get mollywopped."
No, I think there was one point where he said, "Oh no, I'm getting mollywopped."
Yeah. Bro, I was dying, bro.
Yeah, that was dude. Ice Cube for me, like he was definitely my favorite character. He brought it with this role. Like he killed with being Superfly. That was hilarious.
That was funny, bro. The whole thing, man. It was like everybody was hitting, and apparently like. Because like with the voice actors, usually on assignments or roles, they're rarely ever in the same room when they're recording. But apparently Seth Rogen, due to The Lion King, apparently like they had Donnie Glover and the other guy like in the same room when they recorded. He was like, okay, I like that, so I'm gonna do that with this. So like all the kids was in the same room. All the kids and Ice Cube was in the same room when they was going back and forth.
Play off each other.
Yeah, exactly.
I assumed that all the kids were in the same room whenever they were all talking at the same time.
Yeah, so, it's a lot of
like whenever they first met April.
Yeah.
And they were, doing the origin story, but they were all doing it at once. I was like, there's no way they weren't together. Or
Right.
whenever they were like, yes, you have to film everything that we do. And then, April was just like, I don't think anyone's gonna like this.
Right.
Like that whole scene, I was like, no, all y'all had to be in the booth together to
all that we outside.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the we outside. That was hilarious, bro. You're yeah, bro. It was so New York, but like in a good way. Like they weren't like saying like, 115th Street where nobody would be able to relate if you weren't from New York. It was just
kind
natural.
of like they did in Transformers. Like I just watched that again yesterday. And there's so many New York references.
Right. Whereas this it was just like everybody does a New York accent. Everybody's tried it. Everybody, you know what I mean? It's relatable. But yeah, man, I didn't know John Cena was Rocksteady. Like it was a few like voice that I didn't even recognize.
I think I recognized the people that I knew. I will say the Gecko, I didn't think the Gecko was Paul Rudd. I thought it was the dude, oh god, I don't know his name, but he's Jay in Big Mouth.
Okay.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, I thought it was that dude. But when I saw it was Paul Rudd, I was like, because I thought it was Jay, but like doing a different voice.
Gotcha.
But
okay.
It ended up being Paul Rudd. But yeah, I knew Maya Rudolph. I knew Giancarlo.
Yeah.
I was pretty sure it was John Cena, but I wasn't 100% sure. And you can always hear Seth Rogen.
Yeah, easily. Yeah. I guess Post Malone was Ray Fillet.
I honestly don't know what Post Malone voice sound like.
Yeah,
like him talking. I
didn't know that. I didn't know. I didn't know that. I don't know.
Was Ray Fillet the one that was singing?
Yeah.
Okay, that was funny.
Yeah, I didn't know who Wingnut was.
Natasha Dimitri or something. Yeah, I don't know who that is.
Yeah, I was pretty sure that Rose Byrne was the crocodile because like Rose Byrne and Seth Rogen are best friends, and if they have the relationship where like if I'm working, you're working.
Yeah, facts.
So whenever I heard that Leatherhead was Australian, I was like, "Yep, I know who that is."
Yeah,
and I couldn't tell who the frog was, and then when I saw Hannibal Buress' name, I was like, "Ah, there it is."
Bro, when he was like, abracadabra, bro, I was dying.
Oh, yeah, that whole scene.
Yeah.
Now, I am curious how they go moving forward because, like, so the only other reference, like, I got from Ninja Turtles, I did play the Ninja Turtles game, like, the most recent one that came out. And Rocksteady and Bebop have always been, like, the bad guys. But now in this one, they make them the good guys. So I'm like, I wonder what villain. I mean, obviously going Shredder, but I'm like, I wonder will Rocksteady and Bebop be bad guys again or no? Also, I mean, I didn't stick around for the end credit scene. So when you said that was the first time I heard the end credit scene. I was wondering about Shredder the whole time.
It's good.
Well, and I'm glad that they did it that way because I, as Brandon said earlier, I think that was the right move, starting with Superfly and then bringing Shredder in because that's what like Batman Begins did. They started with a villain that wasn't the Joker, and then they said, "But coming up next is the Joker, who you've been waiting for." So they're luring you into a sequel, and they're saying like, "No, you gonna come see it."
Facts.
Yeah,
and I support it. I'm glad they did it because whenever Brandon saw this first, and Brandon told us there was an end credit scene, and I immediately assumed it was Shredder.
Yeah.
Because of course, I don't watch trailers, y'all know that, but I didn't think Shredder was going to be in this movie.
Right.
I thought it was a little too early for that, but also I didn't know. So but I did know that Rocksteady and the Bebop, thank you. I knew they were going to be in it. So I assumed we were going to start with them and then we were going to get to Shredder later. Like I didn't think Shredder was going to be, if Shredder was in this movie, I didn't think he was going to be like defeated. I thought he may just be in the shadows or, not very involved if he's in it at all. But I assumed the end credit scene would be very much Shredder.
I don't know any of the villains, honestly, in Ninja Turtles besides Bebop, Rocksteady and Shredder. I don't know any of them.
Same. Like that's who I know. And that's why I figured they'll do this movie and then we'll get Shredder later.
Yeah, I mean, like Ninja Turtles is sort of like Superman. Like they have obviously a clear top tier villain, but their rogues gallery isn't super deep. So yeah, it kind of made sense to like extend it a little bit, give you a Superfly, then like let Shredder kind of be the sequel. Bebop and Rocksteady kind of have been like I'm not saying like anti-hero, but like yeah, they've aligned themselves with the bad guy, but they've also been good guys. That's what kind of where they're, I don't want to say fan favorites, but a lot of people love Bebop Rocksteady because they're funny. They're kind of the dumb, you know, mercenaries, and sometimes they get it right, sometimes they don't. Sometimes they agree with the bad guys, sometimes they don't. Kind of like in this. So yeah, I could definitely see them like aligning with Shredder, but yeah, they're usually not like the end all. They're just kind of work for the big boss.
They remind me of the two bad guys from the original Power Rangers.
I was just about to say that Bulk and Skull. I'm not Bulk and Skull. Like they have a bunch of different versions where like yeah, they're just the two dumb guys who's supposed to do the bad guys bidding and just end up being funny, so people like them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's exactly who they remind me of.
Yeah,
and I feel like Seth Rogen likes to be that guy in animated stuff.
Oh, absolutely, he fits it perfectly.
So yeah. Speaking of references and things you're reminded of, Jordan, were you reminded of X-Men by this movie?
Yeah, because they kept calling them mutants. Yeah. Okay. Every time I kept hearing the word mutants, I was like, yeah, that it made me think of that.
Okay. Was there anything else?
And also there was, what was it? The fact that they kept what was it? No, not the ooze. I was thinking of when they changed the word ooze, because he was like April was talking to them. Yeah, for some reason that also reminded me. Well, I thought of Daredevil at that point.
That's on purpose. Like that's very specifically on purpose.
Yeah. But no, the mutant thing, that was what kept me thinking about it. Was there something else?
Well, for me, what reminded me of the first X-Men movie was the fact that we have two older people who have essentially raised a bunch of mutants under them, and they kind of experienced similar things but went in very different directions as far as handling it. And then the evil one said, I am going to make a machine that will make everybody mutants, and it's going to destroy the humans. And that's what the first X-Men movie was. Magneto makes a machine that is going to make everybody mutants, which will destroy humans.
Right.
And so
I didn't even catch that.
I was reminded of the first X-Men movie with the supervillain plan. Yeah. And with how Splinter and Superfly kind of how they went in different directions but had similar experiences.
Yeah. That's a good catch. No, I didn't catch that. That's a good one.
Yeah. Jordan, you see the mutant word is not exclusive to Marvel, so there's other mutants out there.
I guess so. So are the Ninja Turtles confirmed to be in the MCU coming up probably soon?
I think they're more likely to show up in DC stuff.
Yeah,
well, I don't know. There was also, dude, that was hilarious. All the references was hilarious. They put out he talked about Chris Evans. He put out
Chris's,
bro.
Yeah,
bro, that was hilarious, bro. I forgot about that.
I was like, how was they able to get like some of the references? I mean, obviously they talked about Attack on Titan. They talked about Nickelodeon. It's a Nickelodeon project, so of course they mentioned Nickelodeon, but they mentioned DC as well. They mentioned Batman. I'm like, yo, how are they able to do all this? They just got it cleared, huh?
I think if you are, if it's a spoof or if it's for the sake of comedy, it's free game.
Yeah, especially if it's just you're just mentioning it, like, because that's like pop culture, you know what I mean? You're just mentioning something. Now, if they showed a Batman figure or a Batman character,
if Batman showed up and got voiced and all that, like that's an issue.
Yeah, you got to pay DC for that. But yeah, man, like the Stewie, you like a mix between Stewie and Hey Arnold, bro.
Yeah, hilarious.
Yeah, that was a good one.
But yeah, man, there's just so many different references that were like when they was talking about Drake and who else they was talking about?
Adele,
yeah.
I was like, yo, this is real. Like they for real. They're in our world for real.
Oh, absolutely.
That's what I like, man. It's like before they went to sleep, like they was all on their phones, kicking it. Bro, honestly, the sewer looked like a nice little crib, bro. Nice little kicking spot.
They've been down there long enough.
I mean, you got to think about Rachel. I'm not Rachel. I don't know how I just call her Rachel. Man, what's her name? April. April was like, is that a roach flew on a turd?
Bro,
that is disgusting.
Yeah, I'm glad they mentioned that because like after a while, I was like, that's a cool little spot, and then you like, oh damn, it is a sewer.
Like it is.
You will come up to the normal world and you be like, oh yeah, dude, you stink. You're gonna have to
yeah, bro. Yeah, you funky, bro. But yeah, yeah, man, the whole thing, like they had so many great scenes, bro. The first fight scene was amazing. Them kind of like figuring out their powers.
The fight scene where they went to like the 5 heads.
The
5 crime heads, where they just did like the round shot.
Bro,
I was like, that was nice. One thing that I thought was funny was they all had like random nicknames, and then there was like Normal Kevin or something.
Oh yeah.
And the fact that he owned a mattress store was hilarious to me.
I know Ralph was like just bouncing on the things, just running towards them.
Well, and because there's a conspiracy theory, like an in real life conspiracy theory, that Mattress Firm is a front, is a front for laundering money, because there's no way people are buying enough mattresses for there to be that many mattress firms.
Facts.
But mattresses are something that are relatively expensive, that you can pay in cash, and you can hide stuff in them.
That's true.
So people are like, yeah, no, Mattress Firm is absolutely a front for something else. And so the fact that he was like, no, I'm just a regular mattress salesman. I was like, no, you're not. So I thought that was hilarious. So that's another like reference to real life that they threw in there, I assume on purpose.
Or even the fact that they learn how to fight from like watching Bruce Lee and just all these old like karate movies.
I wondered if Jackie Chan was going to be in any of the montages, like if they were going to use any Jackie Chan stuff. And another thing that I thought was funny, and I'm so mad he didn't say it, but whenever he walked in to save the turtles, I really needed him to say, "I don't want trouble."
Yeah.
Oh,
classic.
That would have been perfect.
He didn't say it, but he told the boys that they were in trouble. But I really wanted him to say that he didn't want trouble, even though he absolutely did.
Absolutely, yeah. When he says that, it's about that action.
Oh yeah.
I love that I thought his fighting style was literally Jackie Chan. Like everything he did, throw a chair at you, kick you, put you in the chair, then use it, like all that stuff.
Yeah, he's in the chair spinning around.
Yeah, all that stuff is classic Jackie Chan.
I used to Jackie Chan fight.
Bro, I used to be obsessed with Jackie Chan in the 90s. So like I was watching that fight, I was like, yo, that's everything I've seen from all his movies.
Yeah, like I think Jackie Chan choreographed that.
Probably so. Like it was so like on point. I was like, see, that's a detail that I love.
Yeah, like the only thing that Jackie Chan like couldn't do was like that little rat climb on the wall thing.
Yeah.
Other than that, like it was a Jackie Chan fight. Like, even the damage he took, that was very much a Jackie Chan. And the fact that he was like, "Oh, my back."
Yeah,
it was so good.
I was wondering when we was gonna get these Splinter fight scene, because I mean, obviously that he in this they kind of changed Splinter, like they made him more of like the real father figure,
right?
And they really leaned on that a lot. I was wondering if they were gonna let him fight, and I was happy that they did.
Yeah, I was like midway through, I was like, I wonder if we're getting a fight scene. You gotta have a Splinter fight scene.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, I thought they did a great job. I am interested how they're going to tie, because like in the movies, like in the 90s movies, like Splinter and Shredder like worked together, trained together in the past. Then I think
there's a history there.
Yeah, like I think Shredder killed Splinter's wife or some shit. And like they like when they see each other, it's on sight. So now I'm like, I wonder if they'll probably explain some, tie to each other at some point. But in this one, they kind of just said like he just wanted to learn teach them how to defend themselves,
Yeah.
And I'm sure they'll work that out, because this was, as far as I know, this was a pretty different take on the Turtles, and I think it was good and refreshing.
Yeah.
Even though, I don't have the strongest point of reference, I still thought it was well done.
Same. I just thought, like just the lean in on the coming of age and like leaning into Like, we've never seen the Ninja Turtles in high school. We've never seen them actually interact with humans to this point. Like, in others, they've been beloved by humans, but it's later on. You know what I mean? And where in this one, it's like, okay, they can go to school. That opens up a whole new brand boxes of storytelling and things of that nature. So, yeah, it was fire.
Yeah, because and one of the things that happens in this movie is like we watch them kind of dealing with the concept of living in secret.
Yeah.
And Jordan, are you able to speak to if that really happened with the X-Men? Like, was that something that they did and dealt with? Because it feels like there are certain X-Men who didn't have to do that. But then
it's like the ones who are normal looking, they don't have to do that. But I mean, obviously,
I think Beast, of Nightcrawler. Because in X-Men Evolution, like he had a little like thing that made him look human.
Right.
But I mean, they were still able to go to school and interact with people, and still like they didn't have to live in isolation and seclusion.
Right.
They were still able to
think about that's the Morlocks, the ones who live in the
they lived in the sewer. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's true. I forgot about that.
Because I thought of the mutants from Futurama, because they lived in the sewers and they looked weird and they had to hide from society and keep themselves secret until they didn't anymore.
Yeah. I have a big question. Did Superfly have a Jerry curl?
Yes.
Okay.
I was literally about to say something about Superfly too. Yeah, he did.
He absolutely did. I forgot to bring. They went with a young Ice Cube.
Yeah, that thing was juicy too.
That's what I'm saying. He all his references and all his lines were so good. It's like they smile in your face, but all the time they want to take your place. Like all his references was good.
He did a 6 a.m.
Yeah,
he did 6 a.m, knocking that body
dope. Yeah.
Hey, it was funny too. They when towards the end when Ralph shot him in the leg with that gun, that horse fell off. He's like, "Man, I don't need that damn horse." I was like, "Oh, that was hilarious to see that horse just drop off like that."
That was funny. Another funny part was when Leonardo had to call April and like all the other guys are around him. He's like, "Hey, so yeah," and like,
he's saying, "Oh, it's a date."
Yeah, so it's a date. She's like, "What?" He's like, "Oh, never mind. We're short now. Sorry." I was funny, bro. Like that's classic. Like you talking on the phone to a girl with your boys, you hella nervous. Yeah, hella nervous.
Grown men do that now. Like
exactly. Yeah,
like they'll make it real weird,
bro. When they was at prom, and she was like, "So what do you say?" He was like, "Is this a date?" She was like, "Wait, what?"
I think she said, "We're doing this as friends, right?"
Oh yeah.
And I don't know how ready for that he was.
Yeah, homie crushing hard, bro. When he was talking about Riz, that was funny, bro.
That's what I'm saying. They were throwing out all that teenage lingo. That was getting to me.
Yeah, Jordan. I mean, I kind of knew, coming of age, definitely not your bag at all.
Not a fan.
I mean, you're kind of you'd rather see old man turtles, like some old ass.
So, I mean, obviously, you were just talking about this last Ronin. I'm almost excited to see what that looked like animated.
Yeah, I think they'll eventually do it like later.
Since Nickelodeon has it, we'll see.
Yeah, that's true. I think it'd have to be like a series, like a Paramount series or something.
On MTV or something.
You're right. Yeah. It'd be interesting, but I definitely watching this. I was like, man, Power Rangers, please watch this and go. This is the North Star. We got to do something like this because they did a refreshing take on something that's generations old. Like you can do the same thing. Probably ain't got the budget, but
this is random. But vomit scenes are hilarious to me.
She was going off.
Like vomit scenes are so funny. I can't think of a vomit scene that I've seen that wasn't hilarious.
Right, yeah.
When they actually show the vomiting happen.
Yeah.
Which I'm surprised they did.
They showed it. Oh, it's a kid movie. Kids was eating that up, cracking it up.
That's true. That's
I feel like vomit is one of those things that like they generally avoid actually showing unless it's something for adults. Like usually they'll just kind of turn and you'll hear the sounds, but you won't actually see it. Now we saw slime come out of her.
Bro, she was throwing up for like a solid 45 seconds. Like
Exactly. And that's the thing. Those scenes are so funny to me. Family Guy has a vomit scene that's hilarious. Team America's vomit scene is hilarious. And that's the thing. It always goes on way too long.
Yeah.
But it's still funny.
It is. Especially when she even got it, like got over her nerves, got out the whole little thing, and then still vomited. It was like,
yeah, she still threw up.
Yeah, that was hilarious. But yeah, the vomit scenes are definitely a go-to. And like, I guess she was getting made fun of school due to all that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they said
April O puke.
They memed it because I'm assuming it went viral based on what
it was like they remixed, and it's funny now because I think of like when someone say I remixed it's like a video, I just think of like Sway the Remix God, like Sway the Remix God. And just a vision. They put that on there, and then they kept replaying the video.
I immediately think of hide your kids, hide your wife.
Yeah,
yeah.
He was vomiting rainbows and all kind of crazy stuff.
Yeah. I mean, that's what happened when something goes viral. Yeah, the internet is undefeated.
Facts.
I was wondering, will we also? So this is one other character that I do know from Ninja Turtles. I was wondering, were they going to kind of show just a quick preview or a quick Easter egg towards Casey? The hockey
Casey Jones. Yeah.
I was wondering, was they going to show like just a reference to him or anything? I assume it's going to be the second one.
I think so too. I wonder if they'll do it with like a high school version, or like if he'll be a little older, because he's usually.
I feel like they would. They got to do a little bit older. I think like he would have to be like 18, 19.
And I mean, maybe they'll switch it up because usually him and April like have a thing usually. So I'm like, it got to be, you know what I'm saying? It got to be somebody. If they do that, they may do it to where he's older. He has no, relationship with April at all, But he is a fan favorite.
Well, I guess like if you said they're about the same age, if they, let's say the next movie comes out, they aged them up, and we'll say instead of it being 15, they'll be like 16, 17. Like they could still make Casey, if they still make everybody 16, Casey can be 18. Like he's just turning 18. So he'll be like a senior and they're like a sophomore. Yeah,
I can see that. But no, you're right. Like I definitely look for it because he's, he got the cool hockey, like the Jason mask and, with the hockey puck. He was beloved in the 90s movies. I definitely look forward to it.
Did they do him in the Michael Bay movies?
I think they did. I want to say, because how many movies did they make in Michael Bay?
I want to say 2. I didn't see the second one, but
I didn't see any of it. I just hated the design of the turtles. They look like fucking like crocodile. Like they look crazy.
I do remember seeing the trailer. Like, and they did look crazy in the live action one. But they were watching though.
And that was kind of the back leg of some trash Transformers movies. I was like, Michael Bay, I'm good.
But, whoa! So I had to look it up. Johnny Knoxville played Leonardo.
See,
that's crazy.
Yeah. See, that's the
first one wasn't terrible. But that's me coming from someone with no point of reference. So I was like, this is fine.
Yeah.
I will say I enjoyed this movie better than that one from what I remember.
Oh yeah. It is. All of them was like, people don't even reference those when they talk about like Ninja Turtles. They reference 90s cartoon, a few of the Nickelodeon cartoons from the 80s, But yeah, and usually Michael Bay is not very he takes what he wants from the IPs and then just goes from there and just goes with it. Yeah,
so like because I've been doing like this rewatch for Transformers stuff, I realized like he created so many original Transformers that are like not in any series. It's crazy.
Yeah, he did. A lot of the comedic ones he just made up.
Yeah. Oh, that's crazy. Stephen Amell was Casey Jones in the Michael Bay when it came out in 2016. Green Arrow, for people who don't know.
Oh, okay.
Green Arrow. Yeah.
That's a good casting, actually. But yeah.
So
if that one came out in 2016, that means the first one had to come out in like 14.
Yeah, it was 14 that one came out.
Okay.
Ain't Sheamus a wrestler?
Yeah, he is.
He played Rocksteady.
He did. Yep.
And Gary Anthony Williams played Bebop. What in the world?
So that's why they got John Cena to play Rocksteady in this.
I bet they look terrible in live action. I bet they did look terrible.
I feel like all of it would look terrible, other than Megan Fox. But
yeah, they would have to try real hard to make her not.
Exactly. Just don't touch her. It'll be fine. But yeah, but no, like in this movie, I just want to shout out like the teenage voice actors for all the turtles. Like, I thought they killed it, man. Like,
oh yeah,
to be so young and to be able to like riff like the way they did, like that's crazy. Because like a few of them, obviously April is Ayo Edebiri. She's like blowing up now. She's in the
Bears.
A bunch of stuff. Yeah, theater camp. There's a bunch of stuff. She's blowing up. But some of these other people I don't really recognize that much, but they killed it.
I recognize, like I mentioned earlier, Nicholas Cantu. I recognize him from Gumball. He plays Gumball, not Gumball, but the other kid. What's the other kid name?
Darwin.
Gumball. Yeah, is he Darwin?
I thought Darwin was. Wait, I don't know who.
No, he's Gumball. Sorry, he is Gumball.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. That checks out.
Because like when I heard his voice, like I was like, okay, I know that voice somewhere. So like as I was in the theater, I looked it up. I was like, that's where I know his voice from. But then also he's in Skull Island as well.
Yeah.
He was all
good.
The other kids, all the other ones I don't really know from anything though.
Micah Abbey as Donatello killed it.
One of the kids was in Good Boys, and that movie's funny. I mean, it's a Seth Rogen movie, so like
I remember when that came out. I didn't get to check it out.
One of them
was it Shaman Brown Jr. The black kid?
I don't know.
No, it was Brady Noon.
Oh, okay. I thought the black kid was in that movie. I think he was in a different like kid movie where it was a Seth Rogen thing, but
probably.
But yeah, they all killed it. But yeah, overall, I will say, all right. So let's address my hot take. I believe this is better than Into the Spider-Verse. I think Into the Spider-Verse is better than Across. That's just my opinion. But I believe this is up there, if not better, than Into the Spider-Verse.
You saying that this was the best animated movie of the year, I'm not surprised to hear you say that. Along with that, you have gone on record as saying you were not a huge Spider-Verse guy.
Yeah.
So this doesn't feel very hot coming from you.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, let me and Spencer said that would have been a completely different story.
Very different situation.
Yeah. Now, I will say I agree that animated wise, this is up there, but I don't think it's close. It's not that close to Into the Spider-Verse or Across the Spider-Verse.
It's not that far, but this is not better than that to me. It's not better than either one to me, but
like to me, like it's way more rewatchable than Across. In the Spider-Verse is really rewatchable, but it's way more rewatchable than Across the Spider-Verse.
Now, this is blasphemous. I want to ask you some of these movies. Do you you think do you guys think it's better or worse than the Mario Brothers movies? Spencer, what do you think? Because obviously one of us is lacking right now.
I don't know. I'll say it's better than Super Mario Brothers.
10 times better to me personally.
I would say it might be better, but it might be like 49-51.
Yeah, like I think it's close, but I think this movie is better.
Better than Puss in Boots: The Last Wish?
Bro. Yeah, 10 times better than me. Puss in Boots, I enjoy Puss in Boots too.
I haven't sat down and watched that movie.
Okay.
Like I have seen moments. Is that the one with the wolf?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've seen moments, but I haven't sat down and watched it.
Okay. That's fair. I do think it's better than that as well. But I just want to see some more recent, animated movies that came out. I just want to see if they're better than the worst thing. Those are the ones I think off the top of my head.
Yeah. I mean, I get it. Spider-Man's tough to overcome, but I just think way more rewatchable, way easier to digest, and it's just funnier to me.
I think it's easier to digest because it was targeted at a younger audience.
But I don't even think that. I just think it's just I'm not having to take in 1,000 different Spider-Man. I can just kind of just watch it for what it is. It's like a clear goal. Whereas with the other one, it's like 57 different Spider-Man.
Well, you would have to compare it to the first Spider-Man movie because it's not fair to compare it to the second one.
I mean, true, but I think it's better than the second one, just off top. The first one, I agree. The first one is definitely a better comparison. I like this more, but I definitely it's not about me. Like Into the Spider-Verse is really good, and it's more like I don't want to say grounded, but it's more a true coming of age story. Whereas the second one is just kind of just going on a journey. But I mean, I get it. I'm definitely in the majority. I mean, in the minority. However, I've researched and it's growing. My agenda is growing.
And what exactly is your agenda?
Yeah,
my agenda is that I sort of feel like Into the Spider-Verse and Across the Spider-Verse, because it is a game, it kind of falls into that Black Panther category. And we've talked about this before, but it falls into the category of game changer. So we hype it up a little bit more than it probably should be. It was nothing else. We haven't seen anything else like it before. So it changed the game, created a lane for a bunch of other movies. Like if there was no Into the Spider-Verse, no Across the Spider-Verse, there probably is no Mutant Mayhem, right? We probably don't get that. However, I think it's hyped up a little bit. And it's our introduction to a Black Spider-Man. Like we all like Miles. Like I'm not even a Spider-Man person, I like Miles.
Okay.
I would probably tell you it's the number. Honestly, it might be the number 3 best animated movie this year. And now I'm going back on what I just said. Now we're going back on what I just said a while ago. I think I might watch Mario Brothers again before this.
Fuck out of here. No.
If I had them both in front of me, and like, okay, pick one to rewatch, I might pick Mario.
I had to put my bias aside because me and Mario go way back, and I have no history with the Turtles. But if I put that aside, I think the Turtles movie's funnier, and I think that I think I'd rather we watch the Turtles movie.
Who's the better villain, Bowser or Superfly?
Superfly.
I'll get back to you.
That's a tough one. Superfly was funnier, but
because Jack Black stole the show.
He did. He's the best part of that entire movie to me.
Yeah, like Jack Black, he did a great job. And yeah, I'll have to get back to you because the Mario movie doesn't happen without Jack Black, but this movie had enough in it where if it hadn't been Ice Cube or if Superfly had been changed in some way, I think we don't lose as much quality as we do if Jack Black is replaced.
Agreed. Like that, Jack Black put that movie on his back and carried it to me.
But I think that kind of speaks to why this movie is better.
Right, exactly.
And I'm not saying that it's just, so much better, but I think I got to put this one above the Mario movie. Personally.
That's fair.
Yeah. It's like Mario was funny, but it's not. I mean, it was funny, but it wasn't funny.
Yeah, I will say, in Mario, the references, the nostalgia did a lot of heavy lifting.
Yeah.
In this movie, it's not the case.
It was just jokes.
This movie was just funny. it used a lot of references and a lot of pop culture things and all that, but like it used just general everybody knows this type things.
Sure. Yeah,
That's fair.
But I still don't have an answer to your question of Bowser or Superfly. We're gonna have to shelf that.
Another scene I thought was pretty funny though is so after they found out like what Superfly's plan was, and then they was like, so what would happen if we don't really want to go with the plan?
Just hypothetically.
Yeah. They kept calling them cousins too. It's like cousins, like I ain't don't call me cuz. Yeah.
Yeah, bro. That whole scene when they met the mutants, that whole thing was amazing.
Yeah. That was
one
fun.
thing that I kind of wonder, I assume that the turtles don't have a healing factor, but whenever they were being milked, like there was a hole punched through their shells.
Yeah.
And then whenever Superfly had them in like the claw, he was cracking their shit.
Yeah, I was wondering about that too.
Like they turtle shells are bone.
Yeah.
And so I don't know how you deal with that.
Right.
I don't know if they'll just like, because reptiles are weird, so they might just like fuse back together or something. But like, them boys hurt.
Yeah, no, that was
somebody might 3D printed them, little missing parts of the shell.
Yeah, it sounded like it hurt. I was like, ugh.
Yeah, but they like I heard the cracks, and it was like, oh, that. I
do have a question.
I was saying I got one too. What's yours?
Okay. With Superfly, where did the horses come from?
The
zoo, right?
Yeah, he fell into the water, and that's where he got the whale and any other water creatures. And then he got on land, went into a zoo, and then that's where he got everything else.
Got it. Okay.
I don't know why there were horses in a zoo, but
I don't know why there was a whale in the water where they was at. Weren't they just on the edge of New York?
Yeah, there are humpback whales not far from New York.
They got like narwhal fingertips. Like I saw the horn fingertips that he had. I was like, what in the world?
They had an octopus, I want to say.
He had a giraffe for a nose almost. Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, like the zoo animals I get, and the humpback whale I get, because I know that there are humpback whales not far from New York. But as for anything else, I'm not sure how accurate that was, because I also feel like you might need to go a little deeper to get to certain fish.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Like I feel like an octopus wouldn't just be chilling up on the top of the water.
Coast. Yeah, exactly. On the coast. Like, I don't know. Yeah, maybe so. I don't know.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't know. But it being a whale made sense because they did the whole like blowhole solution.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. Did y'all have any scenes that y'all didn't like? Because I wasn't really feeling towards the end the whole New Yorkers helping out thing.
That's why
I wasn't really feeling that.
I don't know if you noticed in my synopsis, I talked about how friendly and helpful they were because no, that's not.
That reminded me of
New Yorkers
Spider-Man.
mind their fucking business.
Yeah.
Did
y'all think of Spider-Man though? Remember on the Amazing Spider-Man? I think it was the second one when they like moved all the cranes there and like had to help them out and all that. Y'all remember that? That's what that gave me those vibes a little bit. It's like New York decided to come together.
Be like somebody just walking up to him and be like, "Hey, buddy, you need some help?" No.
Right.
Bro
was a 5'8" rat. Like, no, I'm good.
I mean, I feel like New York's one of those like we can, like I can clown my cousin, but you can't clown type of thing. Where like, all right, like I can talk shit if I'm in New York, I can talk shit, cause damage to New York. If somebody on the outside comes in New York, like we gotta stick together type of thing. I'll be honest, it was a little corny. It was a little like, because I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but like I don't remember the Turtles being accepted so fast.
Right, and being like, that was quick flip.
I mean, and this is a kid's like I got to a point where I was like, all right, I need to suspend my disbelief because they have to do the power of friendship here. Like this is PG. That's what this is. And so like in my head, logically, I was like, it's fucking stupid. But I was like, oh, this is a children's film.
Yeah.
This is absolutely a movie for kids. And so I shouldn't be mad about that. Like that's very appropriate for a kids movie.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I was able to put that aside and be like, you know what? Okay, but yeah, personally, nah, I was like, no, that's not how that would go. But you know, the power of friendship. We watched that play out.
Yeah, sure.
The power of friendship can get through any obstacle.
Right. That's
You're
facts.
right.
Yeah, yeah, it was a little weird, but I mean, yeah, they had to kind of land that plane with either them being hated or them being hunted at the end. Because I mean, yeah, they were so exposed, but you know, they exposed themselves to the world like that. But
Yeah, and like all the other mutants were they were cool with them too.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, even though it's ugly as hell.
Yeah, and I think ugly on purpose.
No, yeah, definitely. The artistic style was definitely like not to make it like cute or aesthetic, super nice and clean. It was, you know, the opposite way. But yeah, man, I felt bad for Splinter when he went out into the world like that first time. I was like, oh man,
I felt bad for Splinter in a lot of moments. Like I just felt a lot of the movie just like, damn, Splinter, I just want you to be okay.
Right.
Because yeah, like especially like whenever he threw the party for the boys and they were like, hey, yeah, we're just gonna leave now. And I'm like, you are all he has.
Yeah.
You are the
Literally.
only people on this planet who love him. And you're just gonna leave? Like I was hurt for Splinter.
He bought all that pizza. Like, I was as a dad, I was just like logistics.
Like he went through all this effort. Yeah, like he found the pizza. He was like, I will be your waiter. I found these cutouts so that there are humans in the room. Like I've been listening and I'm trying to help and fix it. And I just felt really bad for Splinter because he really was doing the best he could. And he was very genuinely trying to protect his boys from what he knew would be a bad situation because he lived through that. And he was like, I don't want you to experience the same trauma and hurt and pain and all. Like, I don't want you to go through that.
Right.
Dude was a single father of 4, man. That's tough.
Right, man. It's tough out here, man.
No woman. My man was going to sleep every night. No woman.
And he kept saying, like, mutant women are not just out here.
Yeah, like ain't no dating app for mutants. Like,
so they were literally all he had.
Yep.
And yeah, whenever and that's I guess how it happens. I've heard parents across many years talk about like they cherish the moments when the kids are young and just want to hug them because they eventually stop.
Yep. Eventually,
that sounds hella sad.
That's cool, mom and dad, but I got some plans. You know,
yeah. I have a life now. Thanks.
Yeah.
I felt bad for Splinter in a lot of these moments.
We talked about this before, but I want to. Has anybody seen Ferris Bueller's Day Off?
Nope.
I have seen it, but not recently.
Okay, I haven't seen it. I feel like I might like it, but I just have never like thought to watch it. But it was just an interesting reference to me.
Yeah, it's one of the like very popular like cult classic type movies that people just fall over themselves for.
Yeah.
And it's got conspiracy theories attached to it as well.
I got something super random, like not even on top of what we're talking about. Did y'all see the trailer for that Gran Turismo movie? I've seen the trailer like 3 times now. I'm calling it right now. Like, that might be the biggest flop of the year.
I keep seeing trailers for it. And this trailer was a bunch of people reacting to it. Like, it wasn't just the trailer. It was them showing, like, people saying, like, oh, my God, this is the greatest movie I've ever seen. Oh, my God, it's a 10 out of 10. Oh, my God. Like, it was a bunch of that. And, yeah, I don't have feelings about it. I do not have plans to see it.
Yeah, I feel like there's going to be a huge flop.
I mean, but we have not seen very many successful video game movies. On the flip side to that coin, this year we have. So who knows?
That's true. I think
Was
they're
Sonic
going a
2
little
this year or was
too
Sonic 2 last year?
last year. I want to say
last year.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like they need to just stick to our Nintendo world. Like once they start extending a little too hard, I'm like, all right, like y'all wildin'. Like, I mean, obviously I wasn't the biggest. I was a gamer, but I was in a certain realm. But like those are universal. Like everybody's played Sonic, everybody's played Mario, but like Gran Turismo and like all these other ones. Then like Anthony Mackie making
They made Twisted Metal a show.
Twisted Metal, yeah.
Which
like,
I hear is really good though.
I've heard good things about it.
Man, Samoa Joe's in it, so I'm low key want to support, but I'm
my sister like showed it to me and she was like, hey, she basically was like, this looks like some shit you would like. I was like, I've heard about it, but I'm good unless I just hear that it's absolutely spectacular. But yeah, this is some violent nerd shit. So yeah, it's for you. Thanks.
Yeah, Samoa Joe plays, I think, the clown. I think
that's Samoa Joe.
Yeah.
That's
So,
somebody else told me too. I'm gonna watch it. I just have so much other stuff that I'm trying to watch right now.
There are too many shows.
Watch it. Yeah.
No, I'm good.
Did they put it all out or is it episode week to week?
I think it's done now.
Okay. It's on the list, but there are too many shows.
Facts.
So may watch it at some point. Who knows?
Yeah.
Do y'all got any other questions?
I think we're good for y'all want to do ratings or rotten?
I think we should re-rank or re-rate.
Yeah.
Okay.
Spencer going to start off.
For me, I give it an 8. Like I don't. There's not a lot I can point to that I just didn't like or had issues with. I think it was a good, fun movie. I had a good time watching it. I'd watch it again. I didn't really have any big problems with it. So
you went from a 7 to an 8?
Yeah.
Okay.
Damn. I'm supposed to be writing this down.
I got it. Don't worry.
Okay, I appreciate it.
I got us. For me, it is also going up to an 8. I gave it a 7.5 at first, but now kind of talking about it a little bit more. Like I'll give it an 8.
Nice. I really can't go up any higher.
I was like, Brandon, you going down? Are you going to go down? Or
nah, it's 10 out of 10 for me. Home run.
Okay.
Interesting. Okay.
My first 10 out of 10 ever. I think so.
I think
since we've been doing the podcast. Yeah.
You got close. You got close.
Yeah.
But
wait, what do I have closest?
Right. You got John Wick.
Oh, okay.
And
yeah,
a 9.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that's
It checks out. Yeah. Checks out.
All right. Well, let's get to the point where we do Rotten Tomatoes. Just in case, this is someone's first episode, we like to play a little game of, Brandon and Spencer try to guess what the Rotten Tomatoes score is for the critics and the audience score. And we are doing the closest to the bucket, wins. And we actually have stats now. So I don't think I might have told Brandon and Spencer, but I might not have. Currently, out of, we do 2 rounds. So you get the audience score, critic score. Spencer currently has 8 wins, on those individual episodes. Brandon has 5, and they've tied 3 times. But in overall, out of all the movies we've done so far, Spencer has 4 overall wins. So, Brandon, you're kind of lacking right now, to be honest with you.
I mean,
you're kind of lacking.
Just the audience and the critics just aren't on my level. That's kind of what that means.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
I'm a little confused by those numbers, I think.
So we have a critic score and audience scores. So yeah, you can win both of those, or you can, tie.
Got it.
Yeah.
All right, let's get a win today.
So let's start with Spencer. There are currently 170 reviews as of this recording. Spencer, what do you think the critic score is?
93.
Okay, 93. Brandon, what are you feeling?
And I feel that way because I think that the movie is doing well, but I don't know how the critics feel about Seth Rogen. And so I think that regardless of how good it is, I think that Seth Rogen's name being on it might turn some critics off to it.
Gotcha.
At the end of the day, because I feel like it should be a little higher, but I feel like the audience may kick that up, but yeah, we'll see.
So I feel like there's a little bit of superhero fatigue. There's a little bit of animation, not fatigue, but like they're like, oh, I just saw Across Spider-Verse and now this. But I think I want it to be higher. I hope I'm wrong. I'm gonna go 89.
So Spencer said 92 and Brandon said 89.
It's a 93.
Oh, you said 93?
Yeah.
Okay. So with 170 reviews, the Rotten Tomato score is currently sitting at a 96.
Oh, I love it.
Oh,
I love that. I love it. I'm glad I'm wrong.
That is a surprise. Okay.
So that's one win for Spencer, but we got to see who wins overall, or Brandon could tie it right here. So Brandon, let's start with you on this one. Sitting with 1,000+ verified reviews, what do you think the audience score is?
I'm gonna go with a 90. I'm gonna go 94%.
Okay. Spencer, what you feeling?
I was also feeling 94, but I guess I'm gonna go 93.
So currently sitting with 1,000+ verified reviews, the audience score is sitting at a 92%.
Bro.
All right.
So you guys both busted, but because Spencer went one lower than you, he wins this one. So Spencer currently has 10 wins, but his overall wins is sitting at 5.
Hey, this one I'm happy that my rating is closer to what the critics thought as well. Usually the critics are like way off, I feel like. But I'm okay with this one. I'm actually happy that I hope this busted box office. I heard he's doing well. And I hope the rating stay this high.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly think that's pretty good. That's really good.
I'm surprised,
and I hope it doesn't. I hope it doesn't fall.
I'm surprised the critics have it so much. Like, I mean, I know that 4 points is not a lot, but like, I'm surprised the critics have it that much higher than the audience does.
Yeah, I think just because it's less amount of critic votes. What do you say, like 107 or something?
For critics, critic was 170. Yeah,
170. Okay.
It's like maybe. Well, no, I was saying maybe because it's a kids movie and there were adults doing their review, but no, because Paddington has some stupid high rating for some reason.
I feel like this comedy style definitely the critics prefer. I feel like critics prefer like a more like quippy, like actually good jokes, because there's quippy MCU movies that don't do well, but like quippy, like those type of jokes. That's why I was thinking, okay, this might do well, and I feel like there's an animation bump. I feel like if this is live action, definitely wouldn't be anywhere close to this. You know what I mean? I feel like animation, especially a good animation, it gets an extra bump just because it's fun to watch, right? And in the future, me and Spencer may debate on live action versus animation. Well, we'll see.
That would be an interesting discussion. I think so. I was what's crazy? I was looking up, just messing with the other Ninja Turtles movies, looking them up on Rotten Tomatoes. That first Michael Bay movie, the 2014 one, has 165 critic reviews, sitting at 21%, and the audience score got over 100,000, and it's at a 50%. So then the
21 is rough.
I agree. The second one has 174 critic reviews at 37%, and the audience at 50,000 reviews at 47%. That's tough.
That's it's terrible. I didn't hate it, the first one. I didn't see the second one, but I didn't hate the first one. But the Turtles weren't looking, spectacular.
I guess this definitely goes to show you that this is probably the best product Ninja Turtles has released.
They said, I'm looking at the article, it said so far it's 51 million worldwide this first weekend, and it said it's off to its best start since the 90s live action movies. And that's the best box office they've had.
Good.
Nice.
Because I feel like, there's the 90s movies, there's the Michael Bay's, and then there's this one. Are there any other movies, or has it just been TV shows?
I think TV shows. I think there was 2 in the 90s though.
There was 3.
I gotta look it up. It was
there
3.
There were 3
okay.
Ninja Turtle movies.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, the 90s set, the Michael Bay set.
Yeah.
And then
Right. No, I think that's it. I think they did a show, and then they did a movie of the animated show, but I don't think that was theatrical. So, I mean, counting theatrical, yeah, I think it's just those 3.
Because I think, it feels like there were 2 different Ninja Turtles shows happening at the same time.
Yep.
I don't know if that's true, but it felt like there were.
They definitely was. It was like 2008 to like 12, where there was like overlap of like the show. Like, I'm actually watching one of them now, and then I'm gonna watch the like 2D version to 2D one a little later. But I've heard the 2D one is more like new versions. The characters are a little different. The personalities are a little different. The 3D one, animation one, is more like, our regular Turtles.
Is that the one you're talking about? Is it Rise of the Ninja Turtles? Because that's the one I keep hearing people talk about. Is Rise of the Ninja Turtles?
Yeah.
So is it kind of like how we had Earth's Mightiest Heroes, and then we had Avengers Assemble?
Exactly.
Where one was based on the comic book, and then one is based on the TV version.
Yeah.
And the shows, like, it was almost where like this season ended and then this season started of the new show.
I think so. I think the rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was definitely like a newer aspect. And I think it was based off of like a newer comic book, and the animation style is really different. Like, they look totally different than we've seen them before.
Yeah, and I think I was looking at images, and April is black in this too.
Huh.
Yeah.
April's
she black.
is, yeah.
Yeah, Master Splinter is kind of fat in this one too.
Yeah, it's definitely, you could definitely see the inspirations, because like the shaping, like Raphael.
Yeah, Raphael's like, that dude is like a massive boulder. Yeah,
he's yoked, but the other ones aren't. So I guess this one has some controversy just because they changed the personalities, but I've heard people really like it too. So I'm gonna check this one out, the one I'm watching now, and then I'll definitely check this one out. I actually did buy a action figure of Leonardo from this latest Mutant Mayhem. Yeah, bro, I just had to get it. I actually bought a from the 90s version. I can grab it here from the 90s. I don't know if I can see it, but it's the 90s, like when they were in the jackets and the.
He got the suit on. He got the jacket.
Yeah. On. So I got that one, and then the newer version from Mutant Mayhem. So I had to grab that. But yeah, that's the one thing about Ninja Turtles. They do so well is because they do so well with merch and do so well with like toys. They've killed it.
They're built for that.
Yeah, they really are. So that's why I think they're like, Paramount is probably like, we're gonna run this back for the box office, but these toys about to rack in a bunch of money too.
Just imagine if Paramount picked up the Power Rangers. You probably could be so much more.
Bro, we just sold. So we were sold to Hasbro. Hasbro has like a production company. We just got sold again to Lionsgate. Lionsgate is the company who made the 2017 movie, but apparently it's confusing. But the Lionsgate bought the same group that did the Hasbro, so everything's going to work out the same. All the plans are the same. It's just now under Lionsgate. It's weird.
I mean, obviously, Hasbro's trying to build their cinematic universe. This is the time for them to, get the Power Rangers going again. I mean, obviously, just
Transformers and G.I. Joe are Hasbro, right?
Yeah. They are.
So yeah, they might just throw the Power Rangers in there.
No, I think so. I mean, yeah, I'm hoping so. They said like nothing's changing as far as plans. It's just now under Lionsgate parent company over this Hasbro level one, E1, whatever they want to call it. But yeah, man, I'm just hoping, bro. We just poor little Power Rangers fans, man. We can't catch a break, bro. Catch a break, man. We had some Saban on dumbass. He was just selling us off to anybody who would buy us, bro. It's rough out here.
He's like, hoeing y'all out, huh?
Bro, we've been traded more than fucking D'Angelo. Like, bro, we get traded like a whack NBA player, bro.
How many teams Jamal Crawford been on?
Nigga, we like him. We got skills.
Because Jamal Crawford is so good.
So good, we can get a bucket against anybody. But I mean, we collected more jerseys. We've been under Disney, Saban, fucking like we've been under all kinds of different people now.
That's rough.
Nickelodeon, back to now Netflix. Like we all over the place.
Well, Transformers is in the process of building a cinematic universe, and so if it's Hasbro, then they might just go ahead and
throw some money
Power Rangers versus GI Joes, and then they'll be like, oh wait, we want the same thing.
Yeah,
yeah.
That's what I'm hoping, man. Power Rangers, like Transformers, is another great example. They got TV shows all over the place. They got movies. They get, they do all kind of separation, type of things. I just want Power Rangers to do the same because there's a bunch of money to be made out
here. Yeah, just a bunch of can't get rights.
It really is, bro.
We just need to get you in a boardroom, bro.
Call me. I actually watching this movie. Man, I was like, bro, I should just write a movie. I don't even know how to do it, but I should just try. I'm better than half of the niggas been tried anyways.
Well, there's a strike.
Exactly, that's true.
So this is your opportunity.
Yeah, and be like, I'll work, and then all of them hate me.
Yikes!
I get death threats and shit.
As soon as the strike is over, they'll never call Brett.
Yeah, I'll work, but yeah.
Well, that's interesting. Well, anybody have any other question, comments, concerns, or anything?
Nope. I mean, we'll put in the group. See what people think about, compare some of the great animation films. We're in a great time for animation. We all love all these, but yeah, we'll definitely put it in there for those to discuss.
Yeah. So if you would like to join in on that conversation, be sure and, head over to our Facebook page at the League of Melanated Gentlemen. And with that being said, we're never duplicated.
Always appreciate it.
And forever melanated.